In the last video, we looked at solving what we call one-step equations. So those are the ones that we saw before. X minus 5 equals 10, or x divided by 2 equals 4. All right, those are pretty simple. They only take one step to solve them. Okay, this one you would add 5 on both sides. This one you would multiply by 2 on both sides. Okay, these cancel. All right, you kind of remember that. Now, two-step equations are just a little bit different, and as you probably guessed, it just means that there's one extra step that's involved in solving them. So an example might be something like this: 3x minus 4 equals 8. All right, you could kind of tell just by looking at it that it's a little bit more complicated, and that kind of gives you a hint that it's going to be a two-step equation. You don't need to know whether it's a one or two-step equation. It just kind of will give you an idea of how difficult it's going to be to solve it. So two-step is just going to take an extra step, and then you'll get your answer. All right, so you have to get rid of the 3, and you have to get rid of the negative 4. All right, remember our goal is to get the x all by itself. So in order to get the x by itself, that means we have to get rid of the 3, and we have to get rid of the negative 4. The question is, which one do we do first, which one do we do second? And you have to actually do it in the right order, or you're going to make a mistake. Okay, so the way that I like to think of it is I usually always leave the number closest to the x for last. Okay, so I'll leave the number closest to the x, which is the 3, I'll leave that for last. Okay, so that means I'm going to get rid of the negative 4 first. Okay, so what we're going to do is get rid of the negative 4, the minus 4, as our first step. And you probably remember to get rid of a negative 4, you're going to do plus 4. Because negative 4 or minus 4 plus 4 will cancel. That's what we want to happen. So we do it there, and then we have to remember to balance the equation by doing it on the other side of the equal sign as well. So plus 4 there. And let's see what happens. So we bring down our 3x, bring down the equal sign. The 4's are canceled out, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. 8 plus 4 is 12. So now we have a new equation, 3x equals 12. And this is a one-step equation because we already did one of our two steps, so now we're kind of down to just a one-step equation left. And you'll remember, actually we didn't do an example like this before, but 3x actually means 3 times x. So this one is 3 times x, and the opposite of times is divided by. So to cancel out this multiplication, which is actually right there, you could divide both sides by 3, because 3 divided by 3 will cancel out. And all that you're left with is that x, which we could bring down. Of course, we have to remember to do the same thing on the right side. So we'll divide it by 3 over there also. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that means x is equal to 4. And that is our answer. Remember, you could always check. And I would recommend that you check your answer just to make sure it's right by plugging it into the original equation, which is right up here. Okay, 3x minus 4 equals 8. So if we plug in our answer, which is 4, we could test it by going like this. So let's take out our x, and let's replace it with 4, and we'll see what happens. So this says 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so 12 and then minus 4. 12 minus 4, does that equal 8? Yes, it does. So that means that this answer down here that we got, x equals 4, is the right answer.